A runner ball chase is something that you would want when you desperately want 2 points, when you desperately want to beat your arch nemesis. And Pakistan, well, they have botched this chase. They've gloriously botched this chase, in fact, and have fallen short by 6 runs. There you go. Still at 3 wickets in hand, but they've fallen short by 6 runs. India, of course, executed their bowling plans towards the end rather well. But Pakistan, well, they look at this as really a missed opportunity, and they will rue this for a while. The T20 World Cup record now stands 7-1 in India's favour. Just a lone victory for Pakistan in Dubai in 2021. But yeah, today is a day they'll want to forget, amongst other days they want to forget in this World Cup. Well, I'm Gaurav Kapur here on Cricbuzz Live. I have Harsha, Bhogle, Zaheer Khan and Dinesh, Karthik here with me. Zach, you got to say that this is a bot chase.
Bizarre chase.
Yeah.
Bizarre run chase. You got to say it like that. Because 1 wicket down at 10 over mark, with pretty much run a ball to get from there with 9 wickets to go.
Yeah.
These kind of games, if you see a team defending, you usually see a good early start, early wickets. That kind of a scenario usually is on display. You have 3 quick wickets maybe in the power play, and then, you squeeze the opposition, you build pressure. That sort of a game is what you expect.
Yeah.
But at 60, pretty much 57 for 1 at 10 over mark, you're just hoping if you're Pakistan, you'll know that, okay, this game is done and dusted. If you're watching a game, you've watched so many games of cricket. But wasn't the case. So kudos to all the bowlers. They kept things simple even when things were going well for Pakistan. They stick to the discipline which was required on this pitch. Aksa getting that wicket on in the 11th over. But after that, Hardik bowling those bounces well, using short ball to good effect. Till about 15 over mark, they still had 5 wickets in hand.
Yeah.
I think where Pakistan missed the trick was they're just thinking that it's just a run a ball and it's going to happen just by them playing these 20 overs. But wasn't the case, and that's why it's a bizarre run chase.
I just want to go to DK quick because he's been grinning like a Cheshire cat on this side.
He's modeling. He looks like he should be in a photograph in a dentist showroom. He's showing all his teeth.
It's been outstanding to watch India go about doing what they've done. Honestly, being part of the team and just coming out, this is a very tough chase to defend.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. It's not. I'm sorry, DK, I'll have to stop you there. We'll just have to reconnect his audio. It is sounding like he's got acute laryngitis right now with the kind of internet connection we have. We'll just reboot that real quick and we'll come back to DK. But Harsha, do you think it's fair when I say that they've gloriously botched this?
Look, the bowlers bowled magnificently. It's very easy to say they botched it, which they did.
Yeah.
But the bowlers bowled magnificently. Having said that, for all that the bowlers did, it was a very difficult game to lose.
Exactly my point. I'm saying that no matter how good you bowl, and of course India bowled really well, and kudos to the fact that they stuck to their plans, they did that. But coming to your point, Zach, no matter how good the bowling is, right? You're an international team. You've been gifted this runner ball chase on a platter against your arch rival. You squander it from there is just
Yeah, but that's why you have to praise the Indian bowling attack and especially Rohit Sharma as well, the way he utilizes bowlers as well.
Yeah.
Because when things are going against you, how do you still manage to just hold your horses, do the right things, just stick to the basics, know that, okay, this pitch will give you wickets. You just have to keep on doing the same things, which is bowling good lengths, good lines, using those variations. And, once the opposition themselves, like you're rightly saying, they themselves got themselves in a situation where the pressure got to them and they just lost the game. And that's what it's just about playing 20 overs. I mean, how do you describe this game? If you chasing 120, you play all the 20 overs, you're bound to win the game.
Yeah.
You played 20 overs, yet you've lost by 6 runs.
I know. There's 2 things we discussed. During the com box, we said only one team can lose from here.
Yep.
And that came true. But we did say in the mid-show that if you play 20 overs, you're winning it.
Yeah.
And Pakistan have managed the impossible.
Exactly why
play the 20 overs and lose. That was a house of cards.
Yeah.
And it didn't require a gale to blow it down.
Yeah.
It required just a little zephyr.
Yeah. Zephyr.
And they just fell apart.
Yeah.
And, so many times we look at it from an Indian point of view and there is fear about what could happen. Matches are often won with the fear in the enemy camp, in the opposition camp. I say enemy camp because that's what the expression is.
Yeah.
But the fear in the opposition camp, and the fear in the opposition camp was being highlighted. They were putting it out, saying, we are afraid. In the manner in which they're playing. Have you ever seen Imad Wasim? Imad Wasim was picked because he goes and hits the ball. The ball is not coming on. But what about the lengths? Should he have been proud to have bowled those lengths today? They bowled fantastic lengths. And I take you back to that over by Hardik Pandya, the 17th over. That was a tricky over because he would have been tempted to bowl Bumrah there. And because Hardik bowled that great 17th over, he could take a punt on Siraj bowling the 18th and keep Hardik back for as late as he did.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And of course, Harsha Bhogle using Zephyr, a 26-point Scrabble word there. So thanks for that. With DK, we've got DK back. Let's check the connection first. Is your throat okay? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3, GK. I hope you
Oh, loud and clear.
Beautiful, beautiful. You're sounding like Tansen on a good day. Love it, absolutely. All right, I'll come to you now for your reactions on that bizarre run chase.
It's just lack of self-belief, GK. It was just too obvious there. They just didn't believe that they could get that run chase done. And to an extent, lack of skill as well. They were playing a lot of all-rounders whose primary skill wasn't batting when they were coming through the ranks. I think they were dependent on players hoping that they would come good. But the fact is that just having Iftikhar Ahmed so deep, when he is a pure batter, literally, he could have come in at least where Shadab Khan could have come in. If you're telling me Shadab Khan is not, rather Iftikhar is not as good as Shadab, it tells you that they don't have enough trust. And just the way they went about the chase, a runner ball, 7 wickets in hand, it's very, very disappointing from a Pakistani point of view.
Yeah, that's true. And when you look at it, actually, it comes down to just one simple thing. Yes, great bowling. Yes, the batting was wavered. The batting order, maybe there was a little confusion there. Just came down to one thing, Zach. One team just knows how to win and the other team just unfortunately does not.
Well, it has become a kind of a mental block as well, I think, for Pakistan every time they're playing against India. And that's what we were talking about before the start of the game as well, that these kind of games, when the pressure is on, you know that Indian team is strong, but today you had a great opportunity. You had Indian team starting well at 10-over mark. You pull things back very nicely to restrict them to 119. After that, it's just about going out there and batting 20 overs to get those 120 runs. You started off well. You played that. The power play was such a crucial phase of this game, and we did speak about it. India needed wickets. Pakistan just needed to see it through and then just continue with run a ball, run chase, and they were cruising. And yet, when it came to a point where you start thinking, is the run rate now getting out of our hand? Is it going up? Run a ball, it goes to 7 runs per over, 8 runs per over, and suddenly you panic. And you've not even lost all the wickets. So if you are doing this kind of run chase and you get all out, it's understandable. The opposition bowled really well. Indian bowlers were spot on and they managed to secure the victory for their team. If that was the case, it was still easy to accept that kind of a defeat. Not this kind of a defeat where you actually played 20 overs.
Well, you've
lost 7 wickets. You're not even all out. And you were going pretty much a run a ball required at halfway mark. So that is something which is
it's a perfect win, right? For India, you have to say a perfect win is when there is a perfect balance between batting and bowling. And today it's been 50-50. It's 50-50 India bowling and 50 Pakistan batting. That's the balance between the batting and bowling today.
Absolutely.
In the win.
DK said that sometimes you can almost be too conservative thinking it's run a ball. I think DK might have said that in the mid-inning show. I'm just looking, there's a very nice thing on the Cricbuzz app. If you look down the overs, there was a boundary hit in
15th over.
13.2. There's a boundary hit 13.2. Arshdeep bowling the 14th over.
There's in the 14th over, sorry. Yes,
in the 14th over, 13.2.
And then nothing till the last over.
Not a single boundary till the last over when the game was done. The boundary was hit after the game was done. It was hit at 19.4. The game was over at that point. It was 16 of 3. Not one boundary hit.
And from some proper bats. There's some problem. And these two boundaries have come from Naseem Shah in the last over. So
Absolutely.
he's hit those two boundaries, been audacious, and he's hit those shots, but just no boundaries. They were
15 of
stuck,
23.
DK. They were just stuck. Yes. Yeah, I mean, we will just keep saying, and I know that we sometimes are accused of being a little too partial to whatever India does. The fact is the captain maneuvered his bowlers great. The bowlers stuck to the plan. But again, I'm going to come back to the balance between Indian bowling and Pakistan batting, both winning this game for India, right? The fact that you don't get a boundary for 5 overs is inexplicable, isn't it, DK?
The main reason being, it's one thing for all-rounders or bowlers who can bat to score runs on good pitches. But on tough pitches like this, which is slow, which has up and down bounce, you need a bit of batsmanship. You need batters who have gone through the grind in domestic cricket, who have played on tougher pitches to get into positions to hit boundaries. We're just going to stand there and slog, or literally seeing the ball on release and hoping that you can play a shot through the line. It's going to be very, very hard. And that's what a Shadab Khan and an Imad Wasim must have found really hard. Even when Iftikhar came in, the positions that he got into, the ball that he got out, you can see he knew where to hit the ball. If you're just standing there and hoping that you'll just swing you'll get a boundary, it's going to happen. And if you do look at the game very, very closely, it was Imad and Shadab batting through that phase between 14 to 19 where they didn't even get one boundary. Especially Imad, who batted through. It's not easy batting on tough pitches against a world-class bowling unit, especially with the firing Bumrah. It is going to be very, very hard.
DK,
and that was exposed by India today.
DK, you've played in these closing situations quite a lot. What would your choice of shots have been on this surface? Because clearly hitting through the line, big shot, the ball was not coming on. Would you have looked for more little scoops somewhere? Or what choice of shots would you have used?
You need to use the scoop after he's bowled the slower ball, because you might then think that the faster one is coming through. What you cannot do on good pitches, even if you're ready, programmed and ready for it, in case it's a slower one, there is a chance you can get away. But on a slower pitch like this, if you're ready for the scoop and it is a slower one, then it gets very hard to get out of the shot. That's when you get out, because you don't get pace to work with. That is the important part. When I said a follow-up shot, that's what I meant. If you've picked a slow one and you've hit the ball for 2 runs, then the next ball, the bowler has a chance to go for a length ball or something a little different. That's when the scoop becomes effective. But if that is your go-to shot because you're under pressure, then the chances of you executing it becomes that much harder. And that's why I said this game cannot be taken deep, because unlike good batting pitches where 3 overs 30 is very gettable, this kind of pitch, 3 overs 30 is very, very hard.
It's exactly why just before the game I had said that this game's not going to go 20 overs, because Pakistan can't afford to take it into the last over with this chase.
Shouldn't have
They
gone.
did, and they've fallen short by 6 runs. Can we just come down to the turning point of the game, though, right? If we talk about when they were cruising and from when it started getting derailed, Zach, it has to come down to that choice of shot from Rizwan at a time when he looked like he was the guy who had to shepherd this innings home. And just didn't understand that shot. You don't play that shot to Bumrah. You're trying to do that to Bumrah, of all people, right? You want to perhaps play him out. That shot not required in that situation. What was required is him being there more than whatever he could have got with that.
Absolutely correct. I think, if you look at the start of the run chase, they were very cautious against Bumrah. Even though he got wicket of Babar, but Rizwan was not looking to play. He got dropped as well of Bumrah's bowling once. But generally, he was not looking to be over-aggressive. He was looking to be over-aggressive against Hardik, where he stepped out and he played a couple of shots. And when Bumrah came back, obviously, he was back to take a wicket. So it's just about, the other guy taking chance at that stage and not Rizwan at that stage. And he played all around the ball. It was seam-up delivery, just a regular length. But he looked to play 2 square. And obviously that big gap opened up because of that. So yeah, it was a shot which was not on offer at that stage.
He played it once before. 2.3. Bumrah's first over, he tries to slog. Just before the ball, he gets dropped by Shivam Dube. He tried to slog and almost got out. So he's realized already, hang on, the slog is not on. Against, it is now very safe to say, the best bowler in the world. It's safe to say. Once again, Bumrah is now doing what Kumble at his peak used to do. He used to just come and say, I'm the bank here, don't worry about me. Bumrah is now unquestionably the best bowler in the world. But, whatever metric you choose. And
we got to change this picture. I just want to add this here. It's just the strangest angle. I don't know how that picture.
Maybe we just thought, let's
even in the public domain. I don't understand.
Let's do a complete Bumrah-like photograph.
A bit like
put it there. Yeah,
a bit like how the actresses were complaining about the paparazzis. They were too happy with the angle.
I don't even understand that. First of all, I don't understand how he's doing it, right? That's just a bizarre angle. But I guess just like batters don't understand how Bumrah's doing it. They just don't get him. And the thing is with Bumrah is that he bowls these 4 overs. He'll go for less than a run a ball. He'll get a couple of wickets. And you just look at that and you go, Bumrah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Tuesday. Right? It's just another day, another
He's had a
Bumrah.
great day. He got Babar out. He got Rizwan out.
Yeah.
What more do you want? I mean, these 2 players are the ones who are...
Zach, sorry to interrupt. I want to ask you that. He tried 1 Yorker. I think he tried 1 Yorker to Shadab that went little fuller. He didn't bowl Yorkers today at all because I think he realized that the length was the right ball to bowl, right?
Yeah.
He's just the sharpest tool in the shed.
I mean, that's where all the Indian bowlers, all the Indian pacers actually did the right things.
Yeah.
You know, they stuck to the plan. They kept things simple, didn't overcomplicate it. You look at Hardik as well. He's also someone who used that slower one bouncer well, used that short pitch delivery well. You've seen Siraj, you've seen Harshdeep. All of them, I think, the communication between the bowling unit looked very clear and they backed themselves to do the right thing in spite of whatever is the result.
Yeah, let's bring that back because I like this picture. Very Bumrah-like picture, this one. DK? Yeah, no complaints about this. Yeah. That's a good one. I like it.
Now, for the most valuable player in the world right now, I think this is a very, very fair picture. And this is pretty much what you're going to see through the World Cup, I hope.
Yeah, him celebrating, arms wide open. He's just brilliant, and he was brilliant today. Just doing exactly. He's always delivering. But sometimes what happens is that in the shadow of the great oak, right? You tend to ignore the others. We mustn't do that today because, and let's talk to the bowler here. Truly a team effort in terms of bowling today.
A team effort because of the reasons which I was mentioning earlier. It was one of those days where you're defending 120 and you're looking for those wickets and the wickets have not come for the first 10 overs.
Exactly.
After that, Aksar took the second wicket.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is something which you're not expecting at that stage because you thought that, okay, early on with the new ball, you'll get 2-3 wickets. That didn't happen yet. You knew that the communication between the bowling unit was very loud and clear and they kept backing themselves to hit those lengths, to use those variations, just not really going overboard with the slower ones as well, but attacking the stumps is something which was communicated.
I think it started to get more and more difficult as the ball got older and older. Because if you see, it's very similar scoring pattern. India struggled after the 11th, 12th over. I just wonder, did it get more difficult as the ball got a little softer? I mean, we're only talking 20 overs. How soft can a ball get? But would it have got more difficult as the ball got a little
look at the comparative analysis of both the innings. And
we'll bring it out.
If you look at it, you had India scoring 81 runs in the first 10 overs. Yeah. Pakistan scoring 57 runs in the first 10 overs.
There you go.
So that's the game there. And later on, even Indian batters, they were looking to take the aerial route, but they were not being successful in doing that. They lost wickets in that, built the pressure, and the wickets which went at covers and mid-wicket, actually covers for both left-hander and right-hander, Jadeja and Bumrah in that scenario. But that was showing the wicket was slowing a fair bit, maybe because the ball was getting older and that was making it even more tougher for batters to take advantage of. Similar was the case in Pakistan's batting innings, and that's where DK's point is so valid that even though it was 120, even though it was run a ball, you had to look to finish the game in 18 overs and not look at 20 overs. And that would have helped them maybe plan that run chase a bit better, or maybe stay ahead of the run rate rather than staying just about there. And as the ball got older, things started to be challenging for the batters. That didn't really help.
Yeah, Harsha, I guess.
Also, GK, I do think it absolutely shows that as much as we keep speaking in IPL about how the quality of batters have improved, the quality of bowlers have improved tremendously as well. if you do notice, you can hardly pick one or two bad balls that the bowlers bowled today. Whatever boundaries the Pakistanis hit were off good balls where they had to show intent, either step out or do something more than the ordinary to get a boundary. So it also shows that 120 is defended today because the pitch was in favor of the bowlers. It wasn't hard to bat on. And if you look at the scoring rate, yes, in the power play, you can get runs, but post that to hit boundaries, it's a big outfield, slow outfield, and the pitch is slow. It gets harder. And when you look to hit boundaries, that's when wickets fall. And for the new batter to come in and start is about as tough. So you want to just make sure it's as easy as possible. But the quality of bowlers have also gone up tremendously. I can only think of that Fakhar Zaman flick down the leg as a bad ball. The rest of it were all good shots. And, credit to the bowlers for making it look rather easy towards the end, how they defended it.
Yeah.
Can you actually start with an old ball? I remember for a long time, there was no rule that you have to start with a new ball. It was just a convention that you started with a new ball. There's no rule in the game that you would start. I wonder if on days like this, whether that law has been changed now, I don't know. Whether you can actually say, no, I'll start with an old ball.
Yeah. Don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to
call Nitin Menon and ask him.
We'll have to look there and find out.
When do you select the ball then? A day before
correct.
to get the new ball old and then start with it?
Yeah. But I think the big plus for India in this game and the last game is the bowling of Hardik Pandya. Because you play three seamers, a day could come when you want to play Kuldeep. And maybe you choose between Arshdeep and Siraj, but Hardik Pandya as the fourth seamer today, and even in the last game, I think that's a big plus for India.
If Babar Azam after the game is no surprise, he has really gone after his batters. We, of course, spoke about how we would like to be a fly on the wall if Pakistan doesn't get this run-a-ball chase. And it looks like they're going to blow the roof off today.
The ball was coming on nicely.
Tactics were to play simple, but to play normally, just strike rotation and the odd boundary. Our mind was to utilize first overs and batting, but 1 wicket down. And again, we weren't up to the mark in the first 6. Pitch looked decent. Ball was coming on nicely. It was a little bit slow, and some balls had extra bounce.
GK,
have to win last 2 matches.
The one graphic that you put up to illustrate what Zach was saying about the slowness of the ball, India made 38 in the back 10.
Yeah.
Pakistan made 56
in
the back 10. So he's saying the ball was coming on. Maybe it was coming on a little better than when India were batting, if that's what he's saying.
I don't know, though. I don't know. There was
no...
I mean, you can see frustration sometimes. I felt like there was one DRS call where Babar was begging his players to give something.
I know.
And there was just nobody telling him anything. DK, you look at that. You look at the kind of, we're not there, so we see these broken pictures. But from these broken visuals, we can tell that communication is also as broken as the pictures.
True. That would be Gary Kirsten's first job, to get the communication around the same group. If you want a group of players, adults playing together, the vision needs to be there as to how it needs to be done, and then all the leaders following through with their actions, and then the rest will follow through, all the young boys. At this point of time, there is certain gaps that need to be bridged. It's just been 13 days on the job, Gary Kirsten has said, but he's going to have a real hard journey, or let's put hard is probably a little... too strong, but maybe a very interesting journey.
An uphill journey. I know Gary likes riding his bicycles up and down hills. He does like 200, 300 kilometer
It's very
rides.
scenic up in the north of Pakistan. He can ride his bike there. He said it's going to be a hard job for Gary Kirsten. My question is, how long does Gary Kirsten have the job? If the chairman changes, the job changes.
That's right.
And the chairman changes sometimes twice a week.
He's had it for 13 days, and give him another 13 at least. Then let's see what happens.
I don't think the players ever believed that they could win this game.
Yeah. Could be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just looked like one team just believed they could win, and the other one just didn't have that belief that they could win. What did Captain Rohit Sharma have to say after the game? He said that we didn't bat well enough. Yes, he's acknowledging that. It was a good wicket, to be honest, compared to the last game. With a bowling lineup like that, you feel confident to do the job. Halfway through the stage when they were batting, we got everyone together and said that if it can happen to us, it can happen to them. Brilliant. That must have been the drinks break at the end of the 10th over. And that's a great point, Zach, that if we can lose 7 wickets for 30 runs, well, they can botch it the same.
Well, they had a better platform in terms of wickets in hand.
Yeah.
And when you're chasing this kind of total, what you expect is to have wickets in hand. So that drinks break certainly helped in just kind of communication going. But bowlers did the job. They were right on the money. And what's important is they kept their cool. In these kind of situations, what matters is how you're thinking. I think, what Harsha was trying to say earlier. Pakistan felt that they could lose the game from any stage. And Indian bowlers, they always had that belief that you can turn the game around at any stage.
Yeah.
And that is the difference, that is the difference between a winning team and a losing team.
Yeah.
Can I draw your attention to one other person, especially because DK has seen a lot of him? You look at the bowling figures, he's not taken a wicket. But I thought he bowled really well today. Siraj is 4 overs for 19. Other than that no ball that he bowled, which ended up costing him 3 or 4 runs.
3, yeah.
He's gone 4 overs 19. It cost him 3 runs. Yeah. But I thought he bowled really well today. And you look at this bowling figures, you'll talk about Yarsdeep bowled at the end. Bumrah was fantastic. Pandya came back. Aksar.
Great team effort.
Gave you 4 fantastic overs.
Yeah. It was just an all-round great team effort from a bunch of bowlers that just know how to believe. And DK, in all fairness, this is a bowling unit that it's not like this belief has come in the last 1 week, 1 month, even last 1 year. This is a bowling unit that's been consistently delivering now for quite a few years now.
True. You add the like of Shami, then this is the bowling attack that's been around for some time. Though in T20 cricket, they haven't found a way to play together because one of the bowlers are always taking a break. It's good to see them, all of them, come and hunt like a pack of wolves. And a lot of credit to Rohit Sharma to back in his players, have the vision that this is the team that I want. And I genuinely hope that the likes of Hardik, Bumrah or Rishabh Pant, whoever is the next captain, is having a close look as to how Rohit is marshalling his resources, the work that he does back end before the games start in terms of tactics. And at the end of the day, when the game starts, looking at the pitch and conditions, how he's able to be flexible enough to make the bowlers feel comfortable. He gives them freedom to choose their own field, set their own field. And if he isn't happy, he is always there with the backup plan. And that's a great way to lead because he's got the confidence of a Bumrah. At the same time, he's got the confidence of a young bowler like Arshdeep Singh as well. So it just speaks volumes of him as a leader and how well he's led. Yes, we always speak about India not crossing the line in a big tournament. So need to give credit sometimes. Defending low scores always shows you the credibility of a captain as well.
Yeah, but on the other side, when you look at Pakistan, and obviously the question now, they've lost to USA, they've lost to India. The question that you'd want to ask is, where do they go from here? And Harsha, you can't say home, though that would be a valid answer, but still, where do they go from here?
First, they hammer Canada.
Okay.
And then they sit and chew their fingernails over USA playing against Ireland.
Yeah.
It assumes that they have to beat Ireland first, but they've got to get to 4 points and just hope that the USA lose to Ireland. Yeah. What that will also do, though, is it'll give Ireland 4 points.
Yeah.
And, it'll give Ireland 2 maybe because Ireland have lost.
Let's bring that back up
Ireland
again.
have lost to Canada.
Back
Ireland have lost to Canada.
Yeah.
So they have to hope that Ireland beat the USA. So USA gets stuck on 4 and Pakistan hammer Canada to get that net run rate above USA. But who would have thought that a World Cup winner, a recent World Cup finalist, is looking at Canada, Ireland and USA and saying, please. But they said please to the Netherlands, and the Netherlands obliged. But you really don't ever want to be in this situation.
I just want to tell you, Ireland, Pakistan, World Cup, West Indies.
No, don't.
Just saying.
Don't go there.
Yes, it's been 17 years since that happened, but that was a day as well. So yeah, you can't take anything for granted. And at this point in time, I just want to bring your attention to the fact that a team, Zach, that is obviously not looking well-oiled, is not looking like they have the best belief. They have good players. There's definitely no two questions about the fact that they obviously have good players. They're bowling, whether it's their captain, their batters, etc. They have good players, but it comes to belief, and the thing is that it's just not looking good for them. Nothing is looking good for them at this point in time.
It's going to be tough, make no mistake about it. This game, the way they played it, halfway through the game, they had a great chance of reviving their campaign.
Yeah.
But now it looks very, very difficult from here to turn it around because you have to wait for other teams' results as well, and you don't want to be in that scenario, especially in the round one. You know, in the Super 8 and all that, you understand. Okay, that things can go any which way. It's a tougher phase, but this is the easier phase. To get through to the next phase should be easier for a team which has enough potential.
Yeah,
I think what's missing in Pakistan right now is a self-belief, and this is going to further dent that in a big way. And then you're looking at the tactical changes also. Like I think today, before the game, we were talking about maybe the right way forward for them, looking at the conditions, and everyone were talking about that this pitch is not an easy pitch to bat on. So you should have just strengthened your batting lineup rather than just adding a bowler, a half bowler, half batter kind of a player to the playing 11, and that is something which is in your hand. You know, it's a tactical error there before the start of the game.
Yeah,
and you did the damage with your four seamers. You know, so that's how the game goes. So I think it's a combination of not making the right decisions and then not putting up a show out there, which is going to propel you to the next round or give you that confidence of beating tough teams.
They'll all be sitting there and saying, कि कहाँ से जीत सकते हैं? 28 of 8 balls they lost in Melbourne. Here, run a ball, 9 wickets in hand, they lost. And I mean, DK, you've been in good times, bad times, you understand these things as Zach does. Can a team actually get into a situation and say, hang on, what is the situation we can win in? Because we seem to lose from every situation.
They can't.
That's the beauty of Pakistan, Harsha. You know, it'll be so interesting if it really happens that Ireland end up beating USA and they still qualify. And then you'll see a very different team playing in the Super 8s. They get a little bit of momentum, a couple of bowlers bowling well, and they look a very different team. And you're thinking, wow, is this the same team that played the qualifying? And it has happened before, even in Australia. So that's why they're surprises. That's why they're so mercurial. But at the moment, it is a very sad situation that they are in, that they have to depend on 2 associate nations and to fight against each other, and they're hoping on one team to upset another.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's such a good point. We talk about them being, volatile, mercurial. Those are words for Pakistan that we've been seeing for decades now. And when they're up and when they're riding that wave, they are just, or sometimes can be unbeatable. But then there are days like today where they're going to lose because they're playing against 2 teams, India and Pakistan.
More strongly against themselves.
Yeah, that's what has happened. They played against 2 teams, and you can't win when you're playing against 2 teams in a game, and that's what has happened to them today. Just a quick word about the ground with you, DK, because we discussed it so much the other day. Is it fair if all the spectators in New York are saying, we want the runs, we want the runs?
I love close games like this. Not 120, probably 145 to 160 games that I really enjoy, because there's a lot of cat and mouse about it. When you're batting, when to take on, who to take on, you just can't look to hit everybody. So I love games like that. But a word of credit to the curator to have made the pitch that was 2 days ago, just South Africa, Netherlands, to where it is today without it being dangerous. Just the odd ball bouncing a couple of times. Shadab Khan got hit, no, not maybe Rizwan. But overall, a pitch that was slow, but in no way a bad pitch that you can't play an international game on it. And to have made that happen, credit to them, actually. Is it the best wicket? Definitely not. But from where it was to where it is today, it is a very, very commendable effort.
Still no runs, but we love the close games. We love the close games. Maybe not the 120s. Maybe one, like DK saying, 140, 150. But so the pitch, good work on that. But Zach, just a word on the outfield again, because watching this game here in New York keeps taking me back to, the 80s when they used to play World Series cricket in Australia.
You still can't get over that.
I can't, the outfield, because I love it.
Every time the game is going on, he keeps asking, but why is the ball stopping?
Yeah.
And if you hit along the ground, it's traveling.
It reminds me of...
It's very heavy sand-based ground, and you can't do anything about it.
There you
go. At least for this tournament. I think with the pitch, whatever they could do, they've done that, and it's looking decent now. Yeah. Rohit Sharma just mentioned that fact that, it was playing better than what it was. Yeah. I think, that's about what you're going to get from this tournament.
I think the outfield is reminding me of Manhattan, downtown New York, which is, it's 1.5 hours away from where this stadium is. It's reminding me of the traffic. It's a crawl. It starts off with optimism, but then it comes to a grinding halt. Again, 80s games in Australia, MCG, big ground. You'd see them hit a big shot and they'd run 4 very often.
Sometimes they'd run 5.
Yeah.
Even at the Adelaide Oval, you had 100 meter straight boundaries.
Yeah.
And legend is that sometimes the bowlers would just, the fielder would just kick the ball over, so you'd get 4
Because you're
and not
saving a
5.
run.
Because they're saving a run. I think you can't do that anymore, by the way. According to the law, you can't do that anymore. But
Fantastic.
yeah, the only time I've seen an outfield worse than this is when you played those Tendulkar versus Vaughan matches, remember? And nobody could hit a 4. They played these exhibition games in the US 3 or 4 years ago. And they played them on baseball grounds.
Problems the US.
And
the All-Stars game.
The All-Stars game.
Yeah.
Were you there for any of those?
I was not there. I was still playing that time.
Because I remember VVS Lakshman was there, and you know how Lakshman is. You know, he plays these musical shots, tuck, and the ball was going 20 yards. But that was a baseball ground. This meant to play a cricket ground, but this outfield, nah.
Operative words being meant to be. All right, so we'll show you the points table once again for India. Of course, 2 wins out of 2 now. So things looking good for India. 2 games to go now.
They've got to play the US here.
Sorry?
They've got to play the US.
They've got to play the US here. They're playing the US. They're playing Canada. So those are the 2 games they have to play. They'll want to finish at 8. They'll want to finish resoundingly at that. So yeah, that's what it's looking like for India. For Pakistan, it's looking like trouble. They've played 2 games against the USA and India, and no win for them there. All right, let's jump to the game that's happening tomorrow. It's Bangladesh v South Africa. South Africa, DK, who survived, you'd say, a bit of a scare yesterday. Right? I mean, the Netherlands also, pretty much, the Netherlands were going to go for 3-3 and they're going to start calling them their bunnies.
It was a superb game. It was a very tough pitch, and Netherlands just crawled their way to 103. And then South Africa, thanks to David Miller, played beautifully. Tristan Stubbs played a cameo as well, but David Miller really batted phenomenally well. The pressure he took on, 2 overs, I think 19 was required. He didn't take, there was a single, he denied the single and then took the bowler on and just shows his confidence and finished it with an over to spare. Outstanding batting. Credit to David Miller. And for the bowlers, Otniel Bartman has been very, very impressive. Hit the right lengths, has got good backspin on the ball, seaming the ball consistently on these pitches. Nokia's look sharp. Rabada's look slightly off color. Now, Jansen has been okay, but overall, good performance. But the South African top order is really looking for runs. They're struggling a bit. That's an area that they will be looking at very closely when they play Bangladesh.
Harsha, another thing with South Africa, and we've obviously talked about Pakistan and not being able to get across the line with India. With South Africa, there's been a similar kind of accusation, or in the same pin code when it comes to World Cups.
Pin code.
Yeah. That would have actually got hammered home if they would have not got across the line with Netherlands yesterday. And you think about why should South Africa be celebrating beating Netherlands? Just when the context, you put all these things together, yesterday's win will mean a lot to them.
It will definitely mean a lot to them because they're 12 for 4.
Yeah.
And they're starting to think, oops, 3-3 against the Netherlands? That would have been a story for the ages. So, yes, they would have heaved a sigh of relief. And I hope they have sat themselves together and said, look at us and look at that camp. Never again.
Yeah.
We are far too good a side to be able to have to huff and puff and get over the line there. But, yeah, there would have been a huge sigh of relief. They've got 4 points now. They've got 1 foot in the playoffs. So they are very happy. Bangladesh, I thought a little bit like Pakistan tried to make things difficult for themselves against Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
But Bangladesh win this. Their net run rate is already so good. And Sri Lanka have been very, very disappointing.
Yeah, they're a scrappy team, Bangladesh. But let's just talk about South Africa for a second. We'll pull their team up. And Zach, yes, of course, they need to shake up their top order and get more. That's too talented a top order to fail repeatedly.
Yeah, but this team on paper looks very good.
Yep.
If you look at all the options which they have in terms of power as well, David Miller, Klaassen, you have Stubbs. So from the top, you have Quinton de Kock, Markram, so all these put together, it's a solid batting lineup. It's just about getting the confidence going, getting that momentum going. The bowling team anyways is doing well. Nokia and Jansen is someone, who is going to be there. Rabada will hit the ground running at some stage. He's too good a bowler to be having too many off days. So I think on the whole, this squad is looking good, with Keshav Maharaj also adding that spin department. So on the whole, I think this squad is looking very good. If they get on to a good winning momentum, they can trouble any team. Tomorrow's game, they're playing on this pitch, is going to help them, because Bangladesh is not going to really enjoy playing on this with this extra bounce in this pitch. South African bowlers will give them a tough time.
With the Bangladesh team, we'll pull that one up as well. And I'll start with Harsha, if you would see any changes perhaps happening in this team, or this is looking correctly balanced as well.
I'll tell Rishad Hussain, you're a very good bowler, but just keep your wits about you when you come to bat.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to slog the way you did. I think it's looking a good side. There's some really good batters up there. If Shanto, who's one of their better batters, starts to score runs too, the big plus for them was Liton Das. I think he's the best white ball batter in that side. Liton Das got some runs. Tawhid Hridoy, we've been talking about him for a while. He looks a really good player. So that side is looking good. They're bowling well. The Fizz has gone back and he's bowling well too. Tuskin has bowled well. So it's looking a good side. I don't know if they have the power to withstand South Africa in that game, because South Africa might have too much firepower with the ball.
It's a great point, but when you come to them, and that's physically, when you come to them mentally though, DK, you got to say, this is such a scrappy little team, aren't they, Bangladesh?
Yeah, after a long time, Bangladesh has very reliable fast bowlers. And in New York, the way the pitches are shaping up, if you have good fast bowlers, you can always control the game to a large extent. It's not like Netherlands had any sharp, quick fast bowlers. So it was all about hitting the right lengths, which they did very well, Netherlands, to get them to 12 for 4. Bangladesh will be looking to achieve something very, very similar. But I agree with Harsha. Power is something that they lack through their batting. So even if they end up bowling well, I think they will struggle when they bat, because South Africa has a very, very quick bowling attack.
Yeah, there's a lot of quicks over there. If I was to ask you, player to watch out for from each team, who would you go with?
For me,
from South Africa.
For the batter, I would definitely... Oh, sorry. I think I've jumped in.
No, that's
go
fine.
for it.
You've got the better shirt, we'll let you go. You've got the better shirt.
Short.
Go for it,
No,
DK.
for Bangladesh, I'd definitely look at Liton Das as the batter. He batted really well in the first game as well. And for South Africa, I really wish Quinton de Kock gets runs, because he requires runs.
Okay, so Liton Das and Quinton de Kock are yours. You pick Marco Jansen.
Marco Jansen.
And for Bangladesh?
For Bangladesh, I think Mustafizur.
Mustafizur. The Fez, the Fizzy Fez. For you?
I want to see that.
Harsha?
Yeah, DK.
I picked 2 keepers. Zach has picked 2 left-arm fast bowlers. You can pick Mike Hazeman, I think.
Well done. And Athar Ali Khan. Well done.
I want to see how Tawhid Hridoy bats against a quality seam bowling attack, and whether he has that capability in him to bat the next level. And for South Africa, that captain hasn't scored for a long time. He's a quality player, but he hasn't scored runs in the IPL. He didn't score runs in the crucial qualifier for SRH, and hasn't scored runs here. They need Markram to score runs. So I'm looking at Markram, and I'm looking at Tawhid Hridoy.
Tawhid Hridoy. Okay, I'll now bring a question on the screen that breaks my Hridoy every time.
Can I interrupt one little while?
Yes.
There's something incredible that's happened in another game that was played today.
Yeah.
And all English hearts will be downbeat if they just look at the score and what's happened in the other game.
Let's have a look, see, shall we?
Scotland versus Oman. Scotland have chased down 150 in 13 overs.
Oh.
What does that do to their net run rate?
Oopsies.
Scotland have gone to 5 points, which is the maximum that England can reach now in their remaining 2 games.
Oopsies. Quick question. England getting through or no? I say no.
It is starting to look a little bit like no. I'd love to look at the points table over there.
It's no.
But Scotland's net run rate now is so good, it's starting to look a little bit. And there was the possibility, I think England and Pakistan are both in the same group.
Yeah.
It meant seeded into the same group in the Super 8s.
I'll tell you something. Now this net run rate has become so much, and of course, yesterday England lost to Australia. Was it yesterday, earlier today? I don't
Forget
know,
it, with the time
24 hours ago.
We
right?
never know.
24 hours ago. England lost by a reasonable margin to Australia, which means that England, with their next wins, to go to 5, to get to Scotland at 5, and to take the run rate up, they will have to win by a margin, DK, which will almost have to be like an innings defeat in a T20I.
Very much so. The only way that they can really make a big difference is if they bowl first, get them skittled out for a low score, and then they press with the batting, which is very possible. There are some good batting pitches that are looking forward when England's batting come around. But for the moment, Scotland has done themselves a massive favour by smashing Oman.
Yeah, Zach, just a quick word. If in case England does, I know it's early because they're just halfway through the games in that group. In case England does not make it to the next round, right? How big a dent is that for England, for the defending champions not to get through the next stage?
Well, if the net run rate is going to come into play, I think they'll have to look to bat first, no matter what the conditions are, because they have the firepower in their batting lineup, and that's how they stack up the game as well. And when you defeat a team by big margin, that has a very positive impact on your net run rate.
Yeah.
But if you're chasing down a total, it doesn't matter how quickly you chase down. It will still not have that big an impact on your net run rate.
Yeah.
So if it's going to go down that way, which it looks like right now, if Scotland has already won it with a decent run rate, net run rate, I think they have to just decide that no matter what the conditions are, we're going to bat first, we're going to score heaps of runs, and then we're going to have that big victory margin, which is going to help their cause.
They came to India as defending champions in the 50-over game.
Yeah.
And did not once look like champions.
Correct.
They now go there as defending champions in the T20 game, and if they don't qualify there either, then there's big question. The coach will go. Jos Buttler will think about his future because he's been captain in both those. Now minus 1.8.
They're 4 points behind Scotland.
Yeah, so they've got to win both theirs and hope that
no,
Scotland.
by 4 points, I mean 4 points on the net run rate and 4 points on the table.
So the only thing England can do is hope that Australia gave Scotland a real hammering.
Yeah.
And then England beat Oman which is the other side, Oman and Namibia by a huge margin.
By an innings, I'm telling you, it'll be that. I'm calling it right now. I think that Scotland's going to go through from this group with Australia. And Harsha, I want to ask you, because you've got friends in the English press, you know people over there. What will be the reaction over there? Because if India, for example, like let's talk about India, another cricket crazy country. If India was defending champions and didn't make it past the first round in the next one, there would be just madness here, right? Do you think there will be an equally manic reaction in England as well?
It'll depend on how they play the next two games. If they go out and really play the next two games like the champion side, they can be, because they've got some fantastic players down there.
Yeah.
If they play like the champion side, they can be, then at least there's something to look forward to, because they've got to hammer the remaining two teams.
Yeah.
And then they can say, we just lost to Australia and then Scotland got rained off. There's nothing we could do about it.
Yeah.
At least they've got a story to tell. If they don't hammer those remaining two teams.
I tell you, what is it? One second. I'll tell you, it's almost comedic, poetic justice that England has been done in by the rain. That's what's going to happen. I think I'm going to change the name of this group, DK. I'm going to change the name of this group to somebody going to get hurt real bad. Somebody going to get hurt real bad. Okay, well, somebody going to get hurt real bad. That's what we call our joy factor question as well. And mostly it's all of us who end up getting hurt real bad. In international cricket, which batting record is held by Mohammed with Shoaib Akhtar in second and Micah Intini in third place? Yes? Any guesses? Anybody? Somebody?
Some batting record.
I don't know, my mind is still full of India, Pakistan. I can't get my mind to come to the joy factor.
Anybody? Okay, let's pull the answer up. Let's rid everyone of the misery. Bring it. Highest ODI score batting at number 11.
And I'll tell you why that is there.
Yes.
Because there is somebody in the studio today who batted number 11 for India in a test match.
Yeah.
And made 75 and outscored Tendulkar in the last wicket partnership.
Let me guess. Hang on. It's not Harsha.
No, it's
not me.
I don't think DK batted at 11.
No, you said in the studio, so I'm not counting DK.
Correct. He outscored. Correct? Outscored Tendulkar.
Not in ODIs though.
Yeah, but that's what Joy does. He doesn't ever make it literal, right? He kind of keeps it there and thereabouts. But
ODIs, I used to bat number 8.
Of course. You're up the order. Up the order, my brother. Up the order.
Amazing.
All right.
Fast bowlers.
All-rounders.
No, fast bowlers.
All-rounders, yeah.
Between going from 10 to 9
Yeah.
gives them more joy sometimes than a 5-wicket haul, I suspect. I've gone from 10 to 9 and they'll go to 9 and they'll farm the strike for number 10. Where they were a little
Yeah, there's going to be a debate in the Indian team right now about Arshdeep and Bumrah's batting.
Yeah.
Arshdeep batted 9 today.
Yeah, that's right.
Ahead of Bumrah. He did. And he did all right. Yeah, he did okay. He did okay today. All right, our winner of a Joy Factor question. Let's have a look. Who is this? Nikhil Gopal Krishna. बहुत बढ़िया सर, बहुत बढ़िया. इतने भगवानों का नाम है यहाँ पे तो करना ही था इनको.
Correct.
Well done. So congratulations to you. You're the winner for today. For the guessing game, nobody? Anybody? Somebody?
Power play, we all got power play scores.
No,
We all got
you
power
got,
play
sir. You got.
25, 25.
Sir, you got.
Oh,
Congratulations.
hang on. DK, you must see this because never before has there been a table in the history of Cricbuzz where I have been above Gaurav Kapur.
There he is. It's big. It's big. It's a big one.
I didn't even know that happened.
Of course, I want. That's a broad out. I want you to save this for
That
the
is
end.
very generous, even more generous than the ice cream you buy for us.
Yeah, but I just want to tell you, this is he's being very kind and saying it's generous as if I've gifted it to him. He has earned it. He's even got a bullseye.
But what about the time prediction which I got right?
You've got the time prediction right, so you're leading that chart. One game
I'm
only.
going beyond cricket. I'm predicting weather.
That's right, you are.
Yeah.
You are predicting weather. What's the temperature going to be tomorrow in Mumbai?
I want my score up there.
You want to one?
That's what,
What
2 o'clock
council
in the
you're part
morning
of?
does. That's
Is
what
it?
2
It
o'clock
is
in the
exactly 2 in the morning.
morning does. You got someone who's got 300 wickets and he's fighting because he got the time predictor right on when the game is going to start.
You know
Yeah,
why?
it's
You know
unique,
why?
isn't it? It never happens on this show.
Because he knows what matters. He's got his priorities right. He does. Well, India had their priority. Talking about 2, India got the 2 points today. And of course, it has been a fantastic day for Indian cricket fans. A lot of them made the long journey to, way the outskirts of New York to watch this game.
I think DK is about to
Fair
yawn.
dime. No, he's not. This is
He's ready.
DK's prime hours. Sir, he's on IPL time clock. The prime hours of operation for DK right now. He's going to be up for another 3 hours, as there are a lot of Indian fans, I'm guessing. Just your final thoughts on this, DK. India getting the best of Pakistan yet again in another World Cup game.
India are intimidating Pakistan at the moment in cricket.
Yeah. So that's a fair summation of the one line, and just the kind of aura they're carrying into the next 2 games and in the next round. Now it's clear India is going to go through the next round from this group. The aura that India will carry, because at this point in time, what it's looking like, doesn't matter what surface you give them, you've got the bowlers to exploit any swing, any seam. You've got the bowlers to exploit spin, and you've got the batters to play both kinds of game.
I think in that camp, there is enough calmness and enough belief. And what they're just focusing on right now is process. And it's working for them.
Yeah.
Another unsung hero, just before we finish,
Yeah.
was Akshar Patel.
Yep.
Went into bat at number 4 at that crucial moment, got a 20, then produced that breakthrough there.
Yeah.
So Akshar Patel's played a role, Siraj has played a role, Hardik Pandya has played a role. Neither has played the lead role, but see what a good contribution you've got from so many other people. India will be very happy with that.
Yeah, they'll be happy.
But I agree about the intimidation.
Team effort, a true team effort today for India to get the 2 points. And in T20 World Cups, the score is now 7 to India and 1 to Pakistan. So just complete domination in this rivalry. All right, that's all we got time for today. We're going to say thank you to Dinesh Karthik in his undisclosed location. Thank you so much, DK. Thank you so much for your cheery smile and your cheery shirt. We thank you for both. Thank you for joining us. And I just got to say that...
Thank you, Zach. Good night, Harsha.
Yeah, nice earrings, huh? I've been seeing that since the evening. Really nice earrings. Loving them. Looking really good.
He chose a great backdrop for the shirt to stand out.
Yeah, love it. Oh, you've lost one. You've lost a earring. Now, this happens at the end of a crazy night. There it is. That was at the end of a crazy night. You end up losing a earring. All right. Big thank you to Zaheer Khan and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. And I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. We're going to see you later today. We're going to see you at 7:30 p.m. So do join us then. Bangladesh versus South Africa, that's the game. This World Cup is really, really moving along now, and we're absolutely loving it. Thank you for being with us. Good night.